Okay, welcome everyone to tonight's Leap of Faith on the Rise Team call. I am so excited to have Emerald Dual Sisters, or Dual Emerald Sisters, let's say it that way, Amanda and Kerry. They are now my fellow Kansas jewels now that I am down here. They live not 2, but 3 hours from here, probably.
Yeah, about 3.
And it's been so awesome to be able to spend some time with them over the last year and just getting to know them and how they lead their team. And one thing I want you to know about these two is they do life together, and I'm sure you see it. But when you're together with them, like we were at Rise Retreat, it was so awesome to just see them be real, be sisters, be friends, and lead their teams. And so I just really admire that. And I wanted them to just come to our team and just kind of talk about a little bit how they do that. And I told you guys too, they are farm and ranch and wives, and these two mamas have kids at home. Their husbands are still working. It's just kind of crazy, but I know that they're just going to be real and honest and just share some things with you tonight. So you ladies can take it away.
Well,
all right,
what
awesome
an introduction. Thank you, Tracy, for having us. We love getting to know Tracy better too. And yeah, I think Kerry and I take it for granted sometimes. I was telling her the other day, I was like, because we really are best friends. And so we're best friends and we're sisters and we do life together constantly. And I think people probably look at us, they're like, there's no way that we could get in their mix because they are so tight, but it's really not that way. But I know we do take it for granted because we do have each other and
we rely on each other a lot. We could be you think of twins, her and I could be twins, completely different personalities, but we definitely complement each other really well. But I just want to say, I so appreciate Tracy asking us to be on and humbled, and I want everybody to hear, as we're talking tonight, Amanda and I don't have it all figured out, and I think you'll hear that in the message that we have tonight. We don't. We are constantly growing and trying to do better and learn more, and balancing life is hard, no matter what you are, and life events happen and throws us off track. We may think we got things figured out, and we're moving, we're going, we're crushing goals, and then boom, something hits us right in the face and knocks us back, and I think sometimes life events, though, teach us. And Amanda and I have been through some big life events, and we've been through them together, and it's taught us perseverance and different ways to work through things. But I'm just so thankful for my sister. We always, kind of background, we always wanted to work together. We always wanted to do something together. We grew up in a farm and ranch. We were only had each other on the farm and ranch. We had to make our fun. Our neighbor kids came over, and literally we were the kids making sleds to ride down the creek banks. We made our own fun. But my sister, she's such a rock star. I'm so proud of her. I mean, I'll let her tell a little bit about her journey, and I don't want to waste too much time talking about her testimonies, but it's an incredible one. My sister was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that's the whole reason we got started. That's the whole reason that I even started taking the products. And watching her go through that journey and just being so strong, and she just had that survivor mentality and was just going to fight. And I'm so proud of her, and not many people get to see that side of her. But, I'm just so thankful for her being that way, because if she would have been weak in that situation, you guys, I would have lost it. A lot of people, some of our friends called me and said, Kerry, I'm more worried about you than Amanda at this point. And I was like, that's pretty bad, because, she was going through a lot. And I just stressed, though. I would just bottle up stress. And I was really stressed out. And I remember literally hitting the floor and just praying, God, you've got to take this from me. I can't keep carrying this. I got to have a peace. And he did bring a peace. And so I tell you that because I think that kind of forms a picture of how our Plexus business has been. You don't give up when hard times hit. And you have a choice. You have a choice in every single situation. If you want something bad enough, you will pray, you'll get down on your knees, and you will fight for your dreams and fight for the life that you want. So I wanted Amanda to tell just a little bit of her story, but I wanted to introduce with that.
I don't know how much more I need to tell of it, but I mean, it's so funny, and kind of what we're talking about tonight too will kind of lead into more of it, of my story. But I think it's so crazy to see where your life has taken you from point A to point B. I was listening to this podcast this morning too, and she was talking about how all these women that she interviews, how so many of them don't have education in whatever they're doing in life now. And I think it's so cool because there's so many things that I've taken from each different occupation I've had. Like I worked in real estate. I was an appraiser. I learned lending. Like I'm really into details and computers and design. And then I got into photography, which taught me like designing skills. And so, like not only photographing, but designing graphics and, all that sort of stuff. And so like, it's so funny to see how each of those things contributed to what I'm doing now. And then also going through breast cancer. Like I never would have gotten into health and wellness if I hadn't have gone through breast cancer and my treatments. And that really opened my eyes to just like this world of pharmaceuticals and just, gut health and how poor my health was because I went through chemo and radiation and all that stuff and just the improvements I saw. So if I wouldn't have gone through that, I wouldn't have be where I am today, and so I know that God takes us through things so we learn things and we pick up things and take those skills on in life and are able to pass things along. So I don't know how much more of my story I need to get into, but like it took forever to get my sister to jump on board with me.
Yeah, if any of you are trying to get a family member or a sister on board, just hear this. I was a pain in the butt. Like I was a huge brat. I got to the point I was just like, Amanda, I'm really not interested. Like I just was not interested. I told her I know how to work out. I know how to eat healthy. And I was really like deep down, and I don't even know how much I share with her. I was really, really worried about her because she just went through breast cancer. I'm like, girl, do not put me through that again. I don't know what chemicals and what you're going to buy and put in your body and think that it's going to be okay. But I know I don't want to drink the pink drink. Like, and I just saw, but you guys, like she had been on the products for 3 months before I joined. And I was like, I saw the changes. I couldn't deny it. And then my first month, I was one of those people that it did some huge things for me in my first month. Like I had heavy monthly cycle, I had terrible cramps, and it took away those two things in the first month. And I was like, I am sold for the rest of my life if that's the only thing I get out of this, because I needed that. Amanda knew I was exhausted before my monthly cycle with it. Like I didn't know it was an iron deficiency or what, but just exhausted. So you guys, if you would have looked at me on the outside, you would have been like, oh, Carrie's healthy. She doesn't need this. But like I wasn't waking up more in the morning energized. I wanted those afternoon naps, like the typical mom struggles. And like when you have a ranch and you have cattle, they're like our kids too. Not quite to that extent, but it's our livelihood. Like you can't just have a mama cow out having a baby and not go help her if she has trouble. You can't not check her cattle, take care of your animals. And same with farming. Like there's a lot that goes into it. And so we've got to be A game all the time. And it's just really, really helped me with my energy and so many things. And I know one thing Tracy wanted us to talk about is like, how do we balance that, and how do we do it all? And I think it just comes down to, Amanda and I are so passionate. We feel like God led us to this business for a reason. We always dreamed of working together, and it's been an amazing blessing to work together and a place that we can get along really well. I think oftentimes family gets into business. Obviously, farming and ranching, we understand family business. It's tough, you guys. Like farming and ranching is one of the hardest things to pass down. If you know farmers and ranchers, it's very hard because there's just a lot of aspects that go into when you're working together as a family and business. And so Amanda and I saw that. We'd seen separation in our own family over generations, and we didn't want that to happen with us. We have separate farms and ranches, but we were like, if we went into business doing whatever, like we didn't want that separation because we were close. And this has just been such a blessing. Literally, we've not had anything come up where we're like, oh, that could cause problems, because I really look at it as our own business. And Amanda and I are really good at when things aren't going right, like looking in the hard look in the mirror. And I say that honestly, because most of the times when things are going bad, like I don't look at my team and go, they're not pulling their weight. Like I know exactly where to look. It's me. And I need to put in the work, and I need to put in the hours. And it's like the saying goes, what you do today is going to show up 3 months from now. We live in a microwave society where we think, I'm going to work hard today, and tomorrow I'm going to sign up a new ambassador. Well, guess what? If you weren't working hard 2 months ago, or you weren't working hard this last month, then it's not going to show up. And you guys, I'm going to be real with you. I've had times where our farm and ranch got very demanding, and I had to step back a little bit from Plexus. I couldn't just go. But I'll tell you the blessing, the residual income, my paychecks were still coming. Yes, did it to make my business step back a little bit? Yeah. But I had to look in the mirror and go, Carrie, how much if this was a real job and you went 9 to 5, what would your boss think of how hard you worked? You guys, I would have got a big fat F for a couple of months, because our farm, we got 100 more cows. Like our farm was expanding. There's just a lot of pressure. And so I'm just so thankful. I think sometimes we can step away and go like, oh, why isn't this going right? Or why? Well, how hard have you worked? And I say that with grace, but I just want everybody to understand, like, this is what you want it to be, how hard you work. Amanda, do you want to add anything else about just like lifestyle and trying to balance?
No, I think like, no, but Carrie and I too, like we have a lot of different strengths too. So it's really interesting. We have completely opposite color personalities. Even though I have some of the same person, like, you know, I am very red and green. And Carrie is yellow and blue.
More
And
blue than yellow and red.
And we
mix
have some red too. But like we complement each other really well because we both are goal oriented and, you know, we want to achieve goals and have success and all those things. But she's the more caring one and I'm the more behind the scenes one who does. So I do a lot of the back end of things like reporting and, you know, keeping track of those sorts of things. And she's very good at keeping people excited on the team.
I like the recruiting, the excitement, I'm more of a free spirit. I just am. And like, I'm one of those people, that's the reason I never worked a 9-to-5. So Amanda tells you like, she did real estate. She did like, I've always lived on the farm and ranch. I went to college. I thought I was going to do real estate. Like, but let's be honest, I am not a 9-to-5 girl. I'm just not. You guys, doesn't mean I'm not motivated and I'm not driven. I'm very goal oriented. And if I say I'm going to do something, I get it done. But I also just like, I probably don't have as much structure as like my sister. My sister can be very structured and I'm like, I love her for that. And so it's nice. That's why when you're doing this, to have a power partner that compliments you well, somebody that you can take some criticism from and be okay with it. You guys, like, we've got to be okay with criticism. I think so many women in particular, they take it so the wrong way, but you've got to have that accountability partner that you can talk to and be like, you know what, that is an area I could be better at. But I think also when you're the one giving and critiquing is just being gentle, because no one likes to be told, you know, this is where you're failing at. And Amanda just jumped off. She's probably getting something for dinner for the kids. So, but I just, you know, like I want you guys to realize I don't balance it all right all the time. I wish I did. Like in my head, I have this ideal. I love this saying of like, where you ideally see yourself being and where you're actually at, this is the personal growth that needs to happen. So, you know, like I see myself, I know what I need to do, but I'm here. Okay, then I need that personal growth to get to that next level. And so I'm always striving to do better and do more. Mandy, you disappeared for a minute, but okay, you're back. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I had to take the pizza out of the oven.
You know, I'm always pushing to do personal growth. I'm always reading books. I'm always trying to go praying. Like, you know, I just really, this last year had a mindset shift in a lot of areas. And I want to do things better. Like that first year was really a year of learning and growing, and we did grow fast. We had a lot of momentum. We had some times where momentum wasn't great, and we kind of had to pick ourselves up and keep going, you know, and figure it out and go, where did we mess up? What worked? What wasn't working? And it's trial and error. Amanda.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, I agree. And like, even since we hit Emerald last year, I mean, we've been trying to re-rank this whole time. And we took like, seriously, probably 3 or 4 months and just really stepped back and were like, because we pushed so hard last July, so hard. And our team pushed so hard, and our team probably wasn't ready to push so hard. And so we fell back a lot in points. And, you know, I think we both had some long, hard talks with each other because we kind of burnt ourselves out. I mean, to be honest, we did. And I was listening to Tara Castaneda the other night too. And she has a couple new training videos up, and even old one too. But I really feel like she's got her fire lit again too. And I think we all go through those seasons, you know, where we have to step back and say, okay, we really want this, you know, what are we going to do to make this happen? And like Carrie said, looking in the mirror and upping your game, you know. And I looked at a lot of my numbers, you know, personally, and I'm like, okay, my silver numbers are not that great. You know, I'm not duplicating myself. We didn't have systems in place that I felt like we needed to have in place to duplicate. And so we really did, like in our slow time, we worked on some things, you know, we built some different systems and some, you know, the website and just some different things to help with our recruiting and people duplicating. And I feel like we've got a really good plan going right now, and I'm excited about the new products and, you know, just getting people sharing, I think is so important. And even when we were on the way back from convention, we were talking to this girl and she was talking about, you know, when she started, how people like all they knew was to get 3 friends to join them. Like, that's what they knew. As soon as they joined, it didn't matter if they were a new customer or an ambassador. Like, that's what they did. They found 3 people and they got their products covered. And they didn't even talk about working the business and going silver and putting even that word on it. Like, it was just go find 3 people who want to do this with you. And so I think we've overcomplicated things. And so we really had to simplify our systems and stuff. Do you want to?
And I think just refocusing on like what this opportunity is to us, because you guys, when I first started, I didn't have a penny to my name. Like, my husband and I work together, yes, but the farm and ranch is his baby. Everything you make in farming and ranching goes back into farming and ranching. So you have a good year, guess what? You're going to buy more cattle, more farm ground, more farm equipment, like all of that. And so I didn't have that extra money. Like, if you're like, okay, let's sit down and see what you're spending, I don't even know what that is. And so my first $100 that I made in Plexus was huge to me. And I think over time, like a year and a half later, you almost start to take that for granted. Like, I don't, but I do. And I mean, I'm making thousands of dollars a month right now. I couldn't go find another job and make what I'm making and be at home with my kids and have so much flexibility. And so I feel so blessed. Like, even through the harder times of this business, I feel so blessed that I get to be home with my kids and that I have a ton of flexibility, and I'm just so blessed. So it's worth the work and it's worth the time, and just figuring out new ways to do and new systems. And so Amanda and I had 5 key things that we said hold us all back. And then we also had 5 mindset shifts that we wanted to share to kind of close out tonight. So I'm going to let Amanda start, and then we'll kind of.
So the first one that we came up with was that no path is the same. And so your journey is going to be different from everybody else's. And you have to realize that comparison is the thief of your joy. And like, I know you guys have heard that over and over again, but just to stay in your lane and realize that you're the only one that knows how you got to where you are. Like, your life experiences and what you've gone through, you're the only one who knows what you've been through and what you can dig from to pull yourself out and make yourself work hard to achieve goals. So everybody has different strengths, you know, I mean, just like Kerry and I, we've had different life experiences, you know, through marriage, through high school, through college, through schooling, you know, sports. All those things go back to developing your path. And that's kind of what I talked about earlier, like, you know, all those skill sets that we've learned. And so just to stay in your path. And I heard this girl say, if the path that you're on is really well lit. Oh, sorry. My Siri is talking to me. She's like, which Andy? I'm like, no, Andy. But I heard this saying that said, if your path is really well lit, then it's probably not your path. And that you're probably trying to emulate somebody else's path, because nobody's path to the top is going to be well lit. It's not going to be easy, and your journey is not going to be easy. You're going to go through ups and downs and cycles and seasons, and realizing that you're going to learn from those highs and from those lows, and to just keep pushing on. So that was the first one.
And I love, you know, it makes me think, we've had this discussion before about, like, Amanda and I are both pretty competitive when it comes to sports. Like, our small towns, we were all about sports, and it makes me think of, like, even those coaches that poured into us and taught us that you don't give up. Like, I think that when I'm doing my workouts, if I can just hear Coach Rathbun, like, being like, you know, just on me, because he wanted to bring out the best in me. And so that inner voice and that inner critic, you get those from the people that you've been around. But I love number 1. But number 2 was perseverance. And this is overcoming those no's. I know you guys all hear it. We all hear no's. And I think understanding that no is okay. I mean, I said no to my sister. I've had many people say no to me. I have people joining me from I talked to 2.5 years ago that are just now going, okay, like, I had somebody write me last night, Kerry, I know I talked to you for like a year and I'm really annoying, but I think I'm ready this time. And I said, you are not annoying. Like, that's okay. And so you guys, we have to be okay with the no's. Even if it's a hard no, we have to be okay with it. And just look at it this way, like, every no that you get is getting you closer to another yes, or maybe a door that's going to be better than what you expected. And I can't tell you how many times something that I thought, like a dream teamer, I thought this person was going to be an amazing dream teamer, and they joined me and did absolutely nothing. So don't let your mindset be crushed by that. If somebody joins you or doesn't join you. And then the most unexpected people have been my rock stars. So I think just focusing on that and just knowing that a no today leads you to better yeses. So just keeping focused on that.
Yeah, and I think your no always like reaffirms your why, or no's always reaffirm your why. And they teach you to dig deep. Just because I hear no from certain people, it doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't need these products. And then I know that no is not forever. And so I guess it makes me dig even harder. I'm like, I know they're going to come around. Like, I just know it. Like, I reached out to this girl last night who was having iron issues. And she's like, okay, if the infusions don't work next week, I'll maybe think about it. Like, I know the infusions aren't going to work for you. I know you need to address the root issues. So, like, I know in time she's going to come back around. And even though it's no for right now, it's not no forever. And so,
Amanda, wasn't that Tara Castaneda the other day that said, don't let your no's determine the momentum of your business? Because if you got a no from somebody and you let that slow you down, I thought that was so good. Like, keep filling your funnel. Like, don't let that slow you down, because that's the worst thing you could do is hear one no and be like, oh, well, that person I really wanted. No, move on to the next person.
I was recruiting really hard the past few weeks and just like really doing a lot of reach outs to a lot of my chicken list. And I had such a good week. Like, one week was just like every response I was getting, people were, they were open to getting samples. And then like the next day I got like these 3 hard no's from these girls that I've talked to several times about the products. But it's like, I can't let those 3 hard no's like deter me from all the people the week before. And we get so focused on those downers, you're like, yeah, when are they ever going to join me? And sometimes it like deters us and sidetracks us instead of keeping us focused. And it's so easy to, because we all get our feelings hurt. It's real. Like, I still have a chicken list. Tracy still has a chicken list. Mm-hmm. Like, we all have those people that we're scared to reach out to, or that we don't like to hear no from, but just to keep going. Okay. Number 3 was failures are going to happen. So it's part of your journey. Like, we all fail. We all fail. And you may fail. You may lose some people. Your business may become stagnant. All those things are going to happen. But what you have to realize is just like when you get in those times, how to adjust your sails to keep moving. And that failures really do set the foundation for greatness. And I really feel like, I was talking about Tara's video earlier too. And I feel like, she's like turning her sails. She's like setting her sails to take off again. And I feel like that's what Carrie and I are doing too. Like, we've had to sit back and be like, okay, this, even though somebody may from the outside look at it as a failure, like, oh, they hit emerald and now, they're not re-ranking. Like, that could be a failure in somebody's eyes. It could be a failure in my eyes, but really it's not. And like, I was listening to this girl and she was talking about, I don't have failures and successes. Like, I try to think about my life as experiments. And it's like, okay, well, that didn't go so well. I just need to readjust some things. And it wasn't a failure. Like, it's not going to make me jump off course and like go do something else. It's just, okay, I need to redirect myself. We need to reevaluate and figure out how we can do things better, and, how we can hit that next level in our leadership. That 5 levels of leadership video was really good too. But anyway, I've stalled. I stalled at Ruby for quite a while. And now we've stalled at Emerald for quite a while. It happens. Everybody's businesses stall at different places. And I think, when you really reflect on yourself, you'll realize that it's your leadership lid that, you've capped out, which I'm sure you've heard Tracy talk about before. And just like finding those things that you can do to improve your leadership and pour into your people, and just build belief in them in one of those ways that they need belief built in them.
And one thing we always tell each other, like Amanda and I, like, nobody can take your rank away from you. Whatever you were, you still are that within Plexus. Like, and maybe, I still made it to Maui. I still made it to Emerald. I know I can do it. I know I'll do it again. And so keep that mindset of like, I did it. I'm going to do it again. I need to refocus on some things and just keep working. And no matter what rank you're at, even if you're new, like, it's the best journey we've ever been on. Like, Amanda and I do not regret working hard and going to Maui and sitting on the beach with our husbands ever. And we got to know Tracy so much better. And the people that you surround yourself with is where you're headed, you guys. And so you are surrounding yourself with some of the highest quality and caliber of people within Plexus. Like, literally blows my mind when I go to convention. That's why you need to get to the events, because that's where you get to know people and connecting. Like Nicole, I see girls on here that I've connected with, and Carrie, and I've loved getting to know you girls. Like, you're a blessing to me. And we have no reason to connect really other than we're just cheering each other on, and we've become friends. So I love the people that I've met with in Plexus. And
Oh, that was
like Amanda
number
said, consider
5 that Carrie just jumped into.
Huh?
I said
What?
that was number 5 that you just jumped into.
Oh, I did. Oops. Yeah, I did. I was on number 4. Sorry for talking over you. No, number 4. But I was going to say, though, our failures are like stepping stones to success. Sorry about that, Amanda. I'll let you.
No, you're fine.
Number 4. Nobody has it all figured out. We kind of said that already. You know, people go in with a degree and they change their job in life, right? Like some of you have degrees from college that you're not even using. That's me. I have a marketing degree. I don't even use it. But did it create character in me? College was a great thing for me. It built my confidence. It built so many things, like changed so many things in my perspective. And I'm so thankful for that, even though I'm not using my degree, which stinks. But I don't want to be working a 9 to 5. So I'm okay with it. So I think just understanding that nobody has it figured out, and you can go read about success after success, all those people that you think are successful in life, go read the hard parts of their journeys, because there's most parts, if you'd read the hard part of their journey, you would have gave up if it was you. But they had a passion in their heart that was driving them. Their why was driving them so strongly, or that inner, like, I got to do this. This is my dream. I'm doing this. And you've got to have some guts and some grit to make it happen. All right, Amanda, number 5.
I was going to add something in there because nobody has it figured out. And something I really struggle with is I'm a big perfectionist. And so I spend a lot of time getting ready to get ready to do things. And I want everything to be perfect before I have to have my list of people all written out before I even will start to reach out to anybody. When I have people pop in my head, I can reach out to them anytime. But no, I have to have my lists and everything organized. And so I spend all this time organizing, and then I'm like, I didn't get anything done today because I just spend my time organizing. And so getting something done is better than being perfect. And that is something I've had to learn. Like, you have to get things done. It's better than having it be perfect and not getting anything done. Like, you've got to just step out and do the things. So you've got to get started to do them, And so I think that's something that I've really had to work on. And even now, to this day, it's something I have to work on, because I'd rather get on and work on graphics and documents and all those things than actually doing my reach outs and my follow-ups and all those sorts of things. So that was all. And we kind of touched on the community thing. That was number 5, was just community and how awesome and supportive and encouraging the Plexus community is. And I'm sure you guys all know that, but like, I love surrounding myself with people of this caliber, and they're always like this. I mean, Tracy's doing a call for our team too, and just like happy to encourage others to, soar to new levels. And everybody has different strengths and different things that they can bring to the table. And I think that's what's so awesome. Just like Carrie and I, like, we bounce a lot of things off of each other, and we're both different, and we both have different ideas. And like, I'll have an idea and she'll make it better, or she has an idea and I'll make it better. And so just collaborating and pouring into other people and relying on your team. And even if you have a small team, even if you're silver and you have one person working in the business, like, just pouring into them and building belief in those strengths that they have and why you see them as a good leader, and just allowing them to lead and do things on their own. That's something we've definitely had to learn, because we do a lot for our team, and we have done a lot for our team, and we've realized that it's better if they can do things for themselves, because they take that leadership and that ownership and just put their heart and soul into it. And like we do when we do things, like, you want it to be great. And
we never had our hands held that much. We have a great upline, and they're there if we need us. But Amanda and I kind of linked arms. We're like, we're doing this. And so don't think like, sometimes I think people think, well, your upline doesn't matter really. Like, it's all what you want to do with this, and you lock arms with somebody. Be the person that even Nicole and I were talking about this today. I asked her if we could kind of lock arms on some things, some goals that we wanted to hit. And, we just have to be the leader that, we want others to be. We have to set the example. If you want your team to do something, you've got to do those things. And I also think One Plexus, I love that that's like our theme, because you see it and it's trickled down. And I was even telling Amanda the other day, sometimes I get a little, like, I know it kind of happens, like boss babes and tribe, but like, I think we're one plexus. We're not a tribe of like 5 of us. We're a huge group of people. Can you guys hear my son calling in the background? Mandy, you can add a little bit more. I'm going to see what he wants.
Mom, I don't know where she was going with that. Other than we did have this conversation the other day, and just because sometimes we do see it in our team a little bit, like people wanting to lock arms and like be this, tribe of 3 people, like we're a tribe. And yeah, I love to see them lock arms, but like we really are one plexus, and just like keeping that mentality, and that openness and that willingness to share and, pull other people in and lift them up. So I think maybe that's where she was going with it.
Yeah. All right. And then these we're just going to read real quick. It's just the 5 mindset shifts. It's not going to be as long as that because I know we're getting a little long. So number 1 was the scarcity mindset. You guys, there's enough piece of the pie for everybody, and just bringing your attributes to the table and understanding that we're all that's going to probably get into something else. Amanda, was there anything else you had written down on the scarcity mindset?
No, just that there was a difference between like scarcity and an abundance mindset, and just like focusing on that there's always enough, and worrying less, and just
doing your thing,
others, and trying to build them up and cheer them on. And the second one was community versus competition. Just like not seeking out your peers to grow together, which we've kind of talked about all night tonight, I think, is just like, don't have that cutthroat feeling, that you want to rise up together and just pursue your dreams together instead of being in competition with each other. And we don't see that so much in our team, but I feel like sometimes we do feel like we're competing with sidelines, and, I think it's just an internal thing, like you want to achieve those goals and you see other people achieving those things and you're like, why am I not there? Like, why is that not happening? So just keeping that in mind, that we're not in competition. I think we all want to pursue dreams and be successful. She's busy with her kids. Number 3 was like, everybody has experiences that others can learn from. And I think I kind of touched on that a little bit earlier too. And just, how we all have different things that we've gone through, and to realize that you have something to share no matter what you've gone through in life. Don't ever diminish the things that you've gone through and thinking that those can't impact other people's lives or improve other people's lives. And so making sure that you're sharing those things that you've gone through, and realizing that you can help so many people by just sharing your life experiences, and that you're unique, and that God created you to be a unique person. You've gone through unique experiences because of that. Believing that you're worthy. I think that's a huge one too. Because so many people don't feel like they're worthy of success or worthy of making money. It was interesting. One thing, it's getting late, but I was listening to this podcast the other day, and this girl, she was talking about, why do men not struggle with, if they make something, like they don't struggle with the thought of, oh, I don't need to make money off of this thing that I've made. They don't ever, it's like if they come up with something brand new, they're like, how am I going to make money off this? And I think as women, like if you craft something or, you develop something, we in the back of our mind are like, oh, our friends are going to be like, why is she trying to sell that for so much money? And it's just a weird, it's true. And I don't know why, but that we are worthy of making money, and that we are worthy of being successful. And we all have these glass ceilings that we need to just bust through and realize that there are amazing things for you in the future. And the last one was that you're unique and there's nobody like you. And that's so freeing if you can really grasp that you are unique and you're different, and God made you that way for a reason. And like you have those strengths and those qualities, and just to pour into other people. And your path is just uniquely yours. So own it, own it and make those decisions to soar. Carrie, do you have anything else to add in?
No, I think that was pretty much it. Do you guys have any, I don't know if anybody have any questions or?
Yeah, I was just going to open it up, see if anyone had any specific questions. Now's the time. Thank you both so much. That was so good. A few things I needed to hear, as always. I always learn from all of you guys. Like, it's so awesome to have you. Just perspectives are huge, and I appreciate you sharing just not just the like goal-oriented stuff, but the mindset that like needs to change to back up that goal-oriented action. Because ultimately when it comes down to it, every conversation, every coaching call I have, it always ends up on mindset. Like, where are they at up here? Like, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of things and goals, and I'm in the same boat half the time as like, where am I at right here?
Yeah. And we're all go through that, you know. Yes, it's recording. Hold on a second. We're all in that, you know. Every day is different. The mindset is different every day. You know, some days I really have to dig myself out, and some days I'm feeling good. Like, I wake up. And so we just have to realize, like, not let our emotions rule us and keep focused on what our why is. Like, one of my whys is, like, we're never, you know, a lot of people are trying to retire their husbands or bring them home from a job. Like, my husband's never going to want to quit farming and ranching ever, like, ever, ever. This is his love, his life. He loves what he does. Would I love to bring in an additional income and leave some flexibility when the crops are burning up out there or input costs are out the roof? Like, absolutely. And it's allowed us to travel more and do some fun things on the side. And I'd love to hire more help so he doesn't have to do it all himself. And so those are a lot of my whys that drive me every day. And then plus I've seen what it's done for myself, like my confidence, the friendships. It's just changed me. I'm a completely different person than who I was in high school or even graduated college. Completely different person in a lot better way. So, does anybody have any questions?
Any questions? Awesome.
I've seen all your beautiful faces. You look like you have a great team, and I love Carrie and Nicole. You do have an amazing team, Tracy.
I have a very awesome team. I love them. And we have a lot of people who, you know, vacation, travel, ball games, but they'll listen to the recordings. They're very loyal to checking in on our nightly.
That's awesome.
So thank you guys so much for sharing some time with us tonight. I know your schedules are crazy and appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you.
Have a great
night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.